Alright, so the first Demon Hunter hero talent tree has been released, the Aldrachi Reaver, and we're just going to go through this really quick. My first impressions, I've already been through this a couple times, and I've looked through everything just to get an idea of what's going on. And I'm assuming this tree is the design philosophy or whatever, geared more towards vengeance, I hope. And I hope the Fel-Scarred one is geared more to the design philosophy for that one is more towards Havoc. Because I'm not a fan of this one so far. Not really happy, not impressed. For Havoc, at least. For Vengeance, it looks pretty good. But here, they do have Havoc and then Vengeance first. So, I don't know. Aldrachi Reaver does fit the theme of Vengeance, but anyway, let's just look. Before we get into the video, I do want to say that my UI is available for Twitch subs, Discord subs, and patrons. So if you're interested in that, you can download it from my Discord, and the link to my Discord and everything that you need to know is in the description of the video. The art of the glaive is the capstone, or the keystone. I think keystone is the right term for it. Consuming 3 for Havoc or 20 for Vengeance. Soul fragments allows you to cast Reaver's Glaive. Reaver's Glaive is basically just a buffed throw glaive. I'm assuming it's going to do more damage because it's enhanced, and it ricochets to 2 additional targets. I'm assuming with the talent bouncing glaives on our clash tree, it'll be 3 total. And then after you cast it, it begins a well-practiced pattern of glaive work, enhancing your next Chaos Strike and Blade Dance, Fracture, Shear, and Soul Cleave for Vengeance. Assuming this next part is your next cast and not at all times, but Chaos Strike, Shear, and Fracture applies Reaver's Mark, which causes the target to take 15% increased damage for 5 seconds. And then again, I'm assuming this is your next cast, Blade Dance and Soul Cleave deals 3 additional glaive slashes to nearby targets for additional damage. This is playing around soul fragments. Soul fragment gameplay is really bad, as we've seen in the past with Fodder to the Flame and stuff like Witherbark Branch or whatever the hell it's called, the trinket. We all hate that stuff. They changed Fodder to make it better, but we all still didn't like it. It was really bad, unplayable at times. You literally couldn't get your souls at times, and these are just completely random. And if there's any type of movement, you're almost guaranteed to miss out on some soul fragments that spawn randomly, and there's nothing you can really do about it. It's like on Farak, I was looking at a log, I missed like 11 soul fragments total just because of P1 and the movement, and P2 the movement, and there's just a lot of movement, and missing full soul fragments is a big damage loss if that's how you get these Reaver's Glaives. So if you get unlucky, you're shit out of luck. So hopefully this gets changed from soul fragments to something else for Havoc. Vengeance, obviously, it makes sense. They can control their soul fragments and how they consume them, everything like that. But for Havoc, it's just RNG. So hopefully it's something like every 3 Fel Rushes or every 3 Throw Glaives or something like that. Something we can control, a resource we can control, because RNG is dog shit. All right, now we'll get into the small nodes or whatever they're called. Reaver's Glaive generates 20 Fury. Pretty useless for Havoc because we're going to want to use this Reaver's Glaive in our CDs, and around our CDs we have like infinite Fury generation, and this is pretty much useless. It is pretty good for Vengeance though, because if they're spending that global on a Throw Glaive, which they normally don't do, they're not going to be falling behind in Fury, so that'll be fine. Throw Glaive deals damage to enemies near its initial target. I'm assuming this isn't going to proc Soul Scar, but if it does, this will be really good, but I'm almost guaranteed there's no way. We have Vengeful Retreat, can be cast a second time within 3 seconds. This is complete dog shit. Vengeful Retreat we use around our CDs, and we have Infinite Fury, so the Fury generation from this will be pretty much irrelevant. Vengeful Retreat resets cooldown of Fellblade. This is pretty good because we can Fellblade, Vengeful Retreat, do our Essence Break, and then we'll for sure have a Fellblade up for our next I-Beam or something if we need it outside of our Essence Break windows. So I think if you are going with this tree, you definitely want this Unhindered Assault. It's not too bad. I'd really like to see Evasive Action be changed though, and maybe just give us a second charge Vengeful Retreat. That'd be really nice. Decisive Blade and Enhanced Chaos Strike. So yeah, this is just a little damage buff. Pretty cool, boring. Second enhanced ability in a pattern shatters an additional soul fragment. I guess pretty good for soul fragment generation. This will really help Havoc, but I hope I don't never have to deal with this ever. We have Fellblade surrounds you with a blade ward, reducing physical damage taken by 10% for 5 seconds. Pretty good. Demon Hunter struggles with physical damage. Can't really complain about that. Pretty good for Havoc. Consuming a soul fragment also heals you for an additional 15% over time. So I think that's going to be the go-to for Vengeance. Just a bunch of healing constantly. Doesn't really do a whole lot for Havoc because we have a bunch of self-sustain through Leech. And most of the time that's enough to get you through whatever damage you're taking through like dots or whatever. I have Wounded Quarry. While Reaver's Mark is on your target, melee attacks have a chance to strike again with an additional Glaive Slash for additional damage and Shatter or Soul. So again, pretty good for Shatter or soul generation. But again, God, I hope on Havoc, I hope I never have to deal with this ever. Please change this. Make this so like throw Glaive has an additional chance to throw another Glaive and then something. I don't know. Give me more fury. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really just don't want to play with souls. It's kind of lame. Intent Pursuit. Casting an enhanced ability reduces the remaining cooldown of the hunt by 2 seconds. Looking at logs, you average like 10 to 12 soul fragments in every minute and a half. So at most, you're gonna get around 12 seconds of CDR if you throw Reaver's Glaive on cooldown, which I assume you're not going to be, because you're gonna want that for your CDs because of Reaver's Mark, 15% increased damage. So I'm expecting the CDR from this to be around 8 seconds per hunt usage. Escalation, each successive enhanced ability deals 10% increased damage. Not sure what's up with that wording, each successive enhanced ability, so if you get parried, it just doesn't work or something. And the effect of the second enhancement is increased by 100%. I don't know what this enhancement thing means. Enhancing your next Chaos Strike. Enhancing. What does enhanced mean? When enhanced, does it just do flat damage while it's enhanced plus this other damage increase? I don't know. But it seems like enhancement has some type of effect. So would the enhancement be like the Reaver's Mark? Is that the enhancement? So it would increase the damage taken by 30% instead of 15 with this. And it would do like 6 additional slashes, maybe. I'm assuming that's what it means, which is pretty cool, I guess. But there's no world where you would want to Blade Dance and then Chaos Strike and then Essence Break because you want Blade Dance in your Essence Break window. Which this kind of like, I don't know. This entire tree is like anti-Essence Break if you look down at like the core rotational gameplay of Havoc. Anyways, then we have Warblade's Hunger. Consuming a soul fragment causes your next Chaos Strike Shear Fracture to deal bonus damage. Another boring node here. Additional damage. Then after consuming both enhancements, gain Thrill of the Fight, increasing your attack speed by 15% and causing your next ability to deal 30% increased damage. So the funny thing with this, if you do your Essence Break rotation, so say you throw Glaive for the Reaver's Mark, then you Vengeful Retreat and Essence Break, then you Chaos Strike to apply Reaver's Mark, then you Blade Dance, you've consumed both of your enhancements from that, right? To apply it, it's consumed, and then Blade Dance, it's consumed. So your next ability would be Metamorphosis, and when you meta, that 30% increased damage is going to be applied to your meta damage, and obviously that's really bad. You do not want that. So hopefully that gets changed for sure. Maybe they like blacklist meta from being increased by this. Yeah, that definitely needs to be looked at somehow. I think I already said in the beginning, but not impressed at all by this tree. It seems pretty good for Vengeance for the most part. It's not what I expected for Vengeance. I expected something with Spirit Bomb. Obviously Soul Fragments, I kind of expected that. Even though I wish they would get rid of the Soul Fragment gameplay for Vengeance, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, like this Thrill of the Fight thing. Like I said, this Reaver's Glaive and this Thrill of the Fight, it's very it interrupts our core rotational gameplay for Havoc. And you know, these things are enhancements, right? They're supposed to improve your gameplay. But a lot of this stuff kinda just ruins the gameplay of Havoc completely. Like our Essence Break windows are gonna be so fucking cluttered. It's gonna be nuts. The only way you can use the Reaver's Glaive in your Essence Break and not troll, and this is after they fix Thrill the Fight, you would have to double stack Inertia pre-Essence Break. You have to Immolation Aura, Fel Rush, Immolation Aura, Fel Rush, throw Glaive, Vengeful Retreat in Essence Break, Chaos Strike, Death Sweep, meta Death Sweep, and then go by your day, right? So these little burst windows of Essence Break are going to be really fucking cluttered, and it's just not going to feel very good, especially coming out of it. If these both of our Immolation Auras to, get the Inertia buff on both of our Death Sweeps. So coming out of it, it's just going to feel really bad. Our Fury generation is going to be really dog shit, and yeah. Hopefully there's some type of change to this. Soul Fragment thing, really bad. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants to play around this as Havoc. It's really bad. Hopefully this gets changed to some sort of resource we can control. I don't care if it's after spending X amount of Fury. I don't care if it's Fel Rushes or Throw Glaives or literally anything. Just do not make me play around Soul Fragments. I'm actually begging. Evasion action, change this, give me 2 charges of Vengeful. The rest I don't really have a problem with. Just get rid of anything that can be used on Havoc that says Soul Fragment. Just change that to literally anything else, please. This Hunt CDR is very, very minimal. It's basically nothing, unless we use Reaver's Glaive on cooldown, which we're not going to be doing. Escalation seems pretty cool, and like the enhancements that these things get, they seem pretty cool, like the 15% increased damage and the additional slashes, kind of cool. But overall, this tree is really boring. Not a lot going on for it. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry if I'm doomer, but I am being optimistic in the way that, Fel-Scarred can literally just spawn in and be better than this for Havoc. So yeah. That is the bright side. Anyways, hope you guys have a good night. See ya.